So hello everybody, hope you can all hear me fine. Today we are going to be doing something completely different. I'm going to be showing you a project that I have an idea for. I'm going to show you a new toy that I've got, and we're also testing out a new streaming platform, which I'm going to be honest with you, so far I don't like it. But I don't want to influence anyone's decision. So as always, I have my most wonderful co-host, and his name is Horlicks.
Hello everyone. Yeah, happy Wednesday. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? We've had a few technical problems this morning. But...
Yeah, I think it's more my computer. I always seem to have internet problems on a Wednesday. I've just done about 4 reboots and disconnected the internet router, and now everything seems to be going fine. Touch wood. Now, the reason I said I don't like it is we have got comments, and I cannot bring them onto the screen. So it's a bit of a pain, and especially as I've got a new toy, and I need your help and input, guys, if you can hear this. So gold star goes to Mike Tedstone for the first comment. There you go. So now Mike Tedstone says, hello, everybody. And he's followed by Andy M. And he says, evening, Penny. Are we on for tonight? Which I say, all systems go. No, I think I pressed the wrong button there. I actually want to press this one. There you go. That's a better one, isn't it? And then we have Yorkshire Crafter. And then P40F20 says, hi, all the dream team rides again. Sorry, Yorkshire Crafter says, hello, everyone. Dan O'Bill says, hello, everyone. Chris say, hello, everyone. David Bassett, good evening to the Alderman Park Royal Route Master crew. Dave Mack says, good evening, everyone. David Bassett, hi to Penny and Horlicks. Hi, Penny to Horlicks. Looking forward to the next installment of Penny's Route Master. Yeah, I'm not doing the Route Master tonight. We're having a little bit of a plan. I want to show you a new project. So good evening or afternoon across the pond to P40. P40 says good evening to you, Dave Bassett. Peter Whitlock, hello and good evening to everyone. Pam Bailey, which is Andrew Jones. Hi from Andrew Jones and Pascal Woof Woof. Pam Bailey, enjoyed your build, the Flying Scotsman. Do you know what? I am absolutely loving that. And I think it's getting people talking, which is rather good. It's a very old Partwork, and it's I'm calling it old school, and it's testing me. It's not necessarily really, really hard, but it's completely different techniques, and that's why I'm really enjoying it. David Bass says, hi, Andrew. Pascal Pepsi says, woof, woof, and waggy tail. Pam Bay says, to help with that, may recommend 3 books by Ian Rice, 1 building etch brass chassis, 2 building etch kits, and 3 white metal kits. I will look for that. Andy M, waited so long for start. Are we going to get 2 pennies turn up at the same time? Don't we all wish? Pam Bailey says these are all published by Wild Swan via the Tifffield Thunderbolt Book Shop website. And David Bass says, I know Horlicks loves his electrics and has done a couple of mods. I want to know how you spliced in that LED by the bonnet into the existing cabling. Do you want to explain that now, or do you want to save it for a bit later and have your own little slot at the end, or how should we play this?
Yeah, I can answer that in a little while. I think I can remember.
Right.
It was actually Fleetwood Jade that actually came up with the plans for it. I knew it was something I wanted to do, and I think we discussed it on the stream, didn't we? We're like, oh, I wonder, and then it was like challenge accepted. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think I can remember roughly what I did. So yeah, I can go through that in a little while.
It's like that mod. If you don't get it right and it doesn't work, it's not actually going to change the appearance of the bus. You're still going to end up with the magazine version.
Yeah.
What could possibly go wrong?
Exactly.
So Horlicks says, "Hi all, we have good old technical difficulties. Wouldn't be a show without them. I really think it's the amount of demand on the internet at this time. Please bear with us. We will be with you ASAP." Andrew then says, "While Swan published a large number of modelling books, the ones that are not available via Tipfield can be found by Bookfinder, which, like Scalemates, is good for finding books. David Bassett, wouldn't be a Route Master show without those technical difficulties." Andrew then says, "While Swan also published Model Railway Journal." Geordie Dave says, "Hi Penny and Horlicks," and then says, "Hi everyone." Alan Ellis, "Hiya both." And then Andrew says, "Did you know that Harshett as well, the Flying Scotsman, did a part work on the Mallard, part work on building a model?" Yes, I knew about the Mallard, but I can't get the bits. And then he says, the Harshett, Flying Scotsman and Mallard were both made in, I apologise if I get this wrong, Association, made jointly with a model loco company called DJH based in County Durham. So, again, I'm just going to ask you, can you guys hear this? Because if you can, I'm on a winner. Right, what am I going to say now? Right, so I have been playing, I received a new toy today. Very loud, that's good. No, I mean, at the moment it's all, at least you heard it, so I know I can do little stream enhancements. So I have today received a toy called Stream Deck. And what this does is it enables you to do various things with your stream. It's primarily set up for OBS, but it does do things that you can use on StreamYard and web-based streaming. So what I'm going to do is, now we have two cameras, so there is two of us. So let me, right, so there I have my screen. I'm just going to change my video camera, to this one. There we go. So screen, we have my screen. It's quite hard to see, I do apologise. And on the right we have my computer screen, and what you can do is you can set up these various buttons, and you can't see what they are, but if I press this, does that work? No, I've got to actually physically open the program first. Sorry, bear with me guys. Right, so you get a piece of software with it, and this is the setup screen for Stream Deck, and that is as large as I can make it, I'm afraid. So you drag in various things you want to do. So let's have OBS scene, and you can drag that in. And I don't know if you saw it down here, but it actually instantly makes the button. So if I move it up one, you see how the button changes position. And then what's really cool is that you can change the icon. So if I have a little look, let's have this one as an icon. So now the icon is that image that I brought in, and it's really hard to see, I'm so sorry. But trust me, the icon is exactly the same as it said on the actual Stream Deck. And I've just been playing with various things. So just set up for the screen, I've got these two buttons to show and hide the Stream Deck software. So you see that disappears there. When I press this one, it comes back. This is a home button, and then I've set up one here for the Routemaster show, and then there's my 3 little buttons. So when I did the sound effects, and I apologise, obviously I can't change the volume now because I've got to go in, but when I press this one, and I can actually stop it, and then what's quite handy, I'm just going to open up, this might destroy my stream, so here I have, that's not there we are. So this is what I record my pre-recorded videos with, and what I can do is set up different menus. So I've set one up here for, I'm calling it Flying Scotsman. So if I press that, you can see the buttons change, and then what I can do is if I press this, it changes to the scene for recording. There is a camera in the middle, but because I'm using it on StreamYard, on Melon, it's not showing. What I can then do is I can sit there and I can go, right, so thank you for watching the show. As always, let's do a parts checklist. So on this issue, we have this one part. Now let's get on with the build. And then there's, you can set things to change scenes and all sorts. So this one is my intro, but I can't get this to work with the sound. So what I thought I could do is switch the camera to me, my normal view, and we'd set a button up. And I'd say, oh, welcome to the show, blah, blah, blah. In this issue, we're going to do whatever. Let's see how I got on. And then we play the intro. And then when the intro finishes, we switch to this. Oh, right, okay, this is issue whatever. Let's have a look at the parts, blah, blah, blah. And then I'd have another button for the ending. And I can record all my videos in one clip. I've had this since 2 o'clock this afternoon, and I've not really had a chance to play with it, but it looks really, really good. They do 3 versions as well, and because you can make subfolders, you have therefore got unlimited buttons, but they recommend this one. They do another one with 21 buttons, but they say it's too many and it just gets confusing. And of course, it comes handy holder. So, preliminary playing about with it, I would recommend it. So let me stop the screen share before it destroys my computer, and then we'll see if I can do. There we go. So that's that new toy. The other one I'd say we're playing with Melon, which is the streaming software. The reason I said I've got a warning come up, unstable internet, so we end up losing the show again. I think I might have just put the computer through its paces a bit too much. I don't know if I've got a problem with my PC or if it's a problem with the internet. It's always on a Wednesday. I don't know what that is. So yeah, I believe you might be trying this out again tomorrow, Horlicks.
Well, yeah, I was planning to. Initially, it looks good and it's quite refreshing. It's pretty much the same, but there's a few more tweaks that we haven't got on the other one. And I really like the way the comments are actually laid out for us, because they seem to be a bit clearer. But obviously, we can't. I didn't realise you couldn't show them.
Yeah. One of the things that I do like is the scene changes, because as you see, we can click different. I quite like this one, and then when Horlicks is talking, we can do this. But what's really clever about it is it has lots and lots of different scenes, but it divides them into 2 boxes. So when you have, for example, 2 participants, there's various scenes that won't work well with 2 participants. So it chucks it into a different box, and the only scenes you see in front of you are the ones that would work well with your current setup.
Yeah.
If I do,
and I think when you have that scene up with me in the little box, I think you can click and drag that about.
No, you can't. I have tried it. All it does is switches them. but that would be good, wouldn't it?
I'm
But
sure it's. I mean, maybe that's a pro version of it, but I know I watched a video of someone doing it, but I wasn't sure how you
that
did
would
it.
be good. That would be fantastic. But because there's just two of us, it's suggesting 5 different scenes. But when I bring my screen share on, it reduces that down to 2. And these are the 2 we've got an option. Because the other scene selections that we have, things like this one and this one, it wouldn't work with a screen share. So it's handy in that element. But again, it might just be a case of we just really need to play with it. Because I'm the host on this show and Horlicks is logging in as a guest, he's only got guest view and I've got stream view. Tomorrow, when he gives it a try, he'll have the complete opposite view. He'll have what I've got now. So I can only sort of describe what it's looking like through my eyes. Horlicks might say, do you know what? This is the best thing ever. Or he might say, oh, get rid of it. Oh, I never want to see it again in my life.
I mean, yeah, there's a couple of features that it lacks that the other one hasn't. And as I say, I've been in contact with the developer of it, and 'cause it's very new. And he's taken on board what I've said, and he's working to get that done. So it's coming soon. But it's like anything new.
Yeah, I did. When we started on
Yeah.
StreamYard, there were features that I didn't like, or features that Google, I can't remember what we had, Google Hangouts.
Yeah.
There were features missing on that. And they've introduced new features and other features to work around. So it could just be the same with this, but this is actually a lot cheaper to run than StreamYard as well, and it's about half the price actually compared to Pro. But yeah, it's okay. It's okay. If this was the only software available for streaming, it does its job. It's just a case of does it do something better. So I am going to do a reveal. Oh, by the way, I need to tell you as well, this show cannot last more than 2 hours because that's the maximum they give us for this trial software. We also can't have any more guests, otherwise I could bring on hundreds of people. Right, so I want to do a little experiment. There is one other person knows about this. I don't think you know yet, do you, Horlicks?
No, what? I don't know.
Oh, I don't think you do. Right, so let me run a scenario past you, Horlicks. Let's suppose there's a Partwork comes out and you really, really want it, but for reasons beyond your control, you just cannot afford the Partwork. Maybe you don't earn enough money, you've got too many bills, maybe you're a divorced man chucking 80% of his money to your ex-wife for alimony. Maybe you're a child who just has pocket money. Would you think it was handy to do an alternative to the Partwork? Something that you could make spectacular, maybe not as good as the Partwork, but something pretty good for a fraction of the cost.
A rocket out of a fairy liquid bottle.
Oh, right. Think of Partwork, any Partwork, right? And let's say you can't afford that Partwork, but you really, really want it. So if there was an alternative that was a lot cheaper, would that be good?
Yeah.
Right. So I've come up with a little experiment. Now, I know there's an alternative to this, and people will go, oh, you can buy such and such, and it has all these features in it. But as you know, we're both building the Spitfire. And I think we share the view that we know it's going to cost £1,200 to build by the time we've completed, but we think it's worth it for the amount that we get out of it. So I have spent £50 and I have bought a Spitfire. Not quite as big as the Harshette version, but here it is. This is the 1:24 scale Airfix. This is actually the largest scale aircraft I would ever have built. And let me see if I can switch my camera without killing my computer. Go on. Oh, it's done it. So, sorry, I'm going to have to steal a larger screen. I'm going to push you underneath me. So, right, this is what I bought. I might have to turn the light out. And this cost me £50. And I'm not going to bring my Spitfire through because it's a bit of a haul, but this is the bottom of the wing, and it's that big. So it's not tiny. And looking at the instructions, the detail looks good. There is only one slight problem with this, and that's that they've sent me the wrong parts, which I'm a bit disappointed at. But Airfix have a very good support team who I've ordered a replacement part. Don't tell me I've lost the part. Oh. Okay, so we should have two halves of an engine, and I've got the same side of the engine twice, but I'm wondering if perhaps I can put a small motor in there, and then we can do the rotor blade, and then maybe if I'm careful, I could run some fibre optics in there, possibly do the machine gun lights. I think the undercarriage moving would be a little bit beyond me, but you never know. So if I think I could produce for less than £100 a big Spitfire with spinning rotor blades and fibre optic lights. Sounds difficult, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Which is pretty much what you've done with your camper. You know, your little 3D printed camper.
Yeah.
That's essentially what you've done, isn't it? You've taken a model, you've added a few lights, and you've made it that much, probably 10 times more spectacular than it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was it. And now we can finish the show after 30 minutes. Da-da-da.
No, I mean, the only thing that would scare me about it is obviously the painting of it.
That is obviously the drawback.
Especially being the Spitfire and the decals it's got. It's not just slap a coat of paint on, is it? That is a very difficult one to do. But, if your experience of paint, you won't have a problem with that.
I'm going to keep it fairly basic. I'm not going to go in. I mean, obviously, I'll try and do things like weathering and do the correct colours and use my airbrush and things. But I'm not going to go like super high tech. Might possibly put an Arduino in to control things. But I think the majority of the people who perhaps couldn't afford the Partwork and would be interested in doing this might perhaps be the younger generation. So they therefore may not have the experience to do some of the things that someone who's a bit old, you get someone who's been building aircraft for 60 years, they're obviously going to be better than someone who's 15. So I want to keep it fairly basic, and just see what we can come up with. Now, the reason I said earlier on, I said, I know there is a kit out there. There's a Spitfire Technics. I think it's about £150. I think it's a similar scale, and that comes with a motor and various little bits, and you can build it. And
is that the same scenario? Is the Airfix Technics kits? Do you still have to paint them as well?
I believe so. Yes. So, but that's something that you're never going to be able to get round. The Partworks will always be painted in the correct colours, whereas these model kits are not going to be painted. So that's something that you've got to take into account. But I'm going to run it with the Spitfire pre-recorded series, and I'm gonna do it as a comparison. the hypothesis is that the Hachette will be better. But this is just going to test that. But I will be doing a comparison directly with the Hachette one. And obviously, if I did it with other models, there's another model I could do comparing it to a Partwork scale. And there's another one that I believe is coming out for the future. And I can actually buy a larger model than the Partwork. So the hypothesis there is a cheaper scale kit could be considered better than the Partwork because it's bigger and lighter and gives you more room to put electronics and things in. So, but the other question that I'm going to get, I'm going to try and answer is it worth doing? You know, if I spend £79.57 and I end up with a Spitfire on a stand with flashing lights and a moving rotor, is it worth the effort? So I think my hypothesis is the answer will be the Hachette version is better, but the Airfix is worthwhile. It's worth the money that you spend on it. Something you could put on your shelf. And to me, the aim of the game at the end of the day is if you put something on the shelf and someone goes, oh, wow, that's really, really good. That to me is the success. So on that base, I think the Airfix is worth it. So I'm going to try and catch up with chat. Now, right, sorry. So Dano said, right, David Bassett Valet, P420, can't hear it over the cheering. That's fine. I was just testing it. I can obviously play with the volumes over time. Dano Bill's cool sound effects. Pam Bailey, they still produce kits in 4mm 00 and 7mm O, and you'll find details on the DJH website. Now, the reason I was going O, we have someone here called Mick Miller, and I think I know who that is. I think his name's not actually Mick Miller. It's just I was having a conversation with someone last night, and there is a comedian called Mick Miller. So I think I've figured you out. But tell me if I'm right, and you know, and please try not to be offended if I've got it wrong. I don't mean to offend. Pam Bailey, sorry, Andrew. Sorry, it's hard for me saying Andrew Jones when it's saying Pam Bailey. So when I say Pam Bailey, I apologise. So Andrew Jones says, I think DJH still do 7mm kit for the Flying Scotsman and Mallard. David Bassett says that's a rather neat toy penny. Andrew Jones says I got a complete set of magazine parts for the Hachette Flying Scotsman, which can't find at the moment. Well, if I spur you on to get yours done, that's got to be a good thing, isn't it? And then David Bassett says, Q Penny, Q Horlicks. And then Andrew Jones says, thanks. Oh, that for your method of using a cocktail stick to glue or solder a nut to brass parts. That feel. And then he goes on to say the other way to do it is screw a screw into the nut very tight, then solder it. Yeah. I should be attempting more soldering. I did try the soldering right at the beginning, and I'm not ashamed to say I cocked that up. But really what I should be doing is doing it more. And I think there's an element of soldering which is you've just got to practice, and then one day it will just fall into place and it will be spot on. And then I can, but yeah, really, I'm a little bit guilty of not giving it another go. And he says to fix rods to crank pins, use cigarette papers between the rod and the crank pin. Really, that's interesting. And he says, Pascal says, woof woof to Pepsi. He also now loves caramel wafers. And then P40 says, I have one of those ancient Airfix. When the kit came out back in the 60s, Airfix did sell a motor to fit in the engine. So at least I know it's doable then. But I bought some very, very small motors, but they may actually be running too quick because they run, I forget what speed, but something like 20,000 RPM. So the actual aeroplane, you might see it moving along the shelf.
The thing is, though, you could put like a couple of resistors on there to limit the current, and then it would make it slower.
Well, this is one area I'm not sure. Do you know what? I fixed my chair last week, and it wasn't. Yeah, there we go. It wasn't squeaking, and now it starts squeaking really bad. I don't know that much about electronics. It's a 3 to 6 volt motor, so I'm assuming it won't work below 3 volts. Or would the resistor just slow it down?
Well, that would be the experiment.
Yeah. Basically, they come in packs of 10 for about £3. So if I buggered 9 of them up, it's fine, as long as I've got one working one. So Mike Tedstone says would be good, and then Mike Tedstone says yep. I'm assuming yep is referring to what I said earlier on about my conversation I had last night. P40F20 says, I think that Airfix is still selling electric motors for some of their kits. Right, that's something. Although our Airfix, one of these companies that are a little bit guilty of this cheap motor fits into our kit, but we're going to slap the word Airfix on it and we can charge a hell of a lot more for it. So, yeah, I don't know. So,
it's a bit like Lego, isn't it? Like, I'm doing a set at the moment, and although I've not finished it yet, it's like a fairground ride, and I really need to get on and carry on building it. But yes, I really wanted to make it electronic, so I had to buy the motor. But really, this is just a basic motor in here.
Yeah.
But they charge you like 10 times more because it's branded Lego.
Yeah.
And, you know, it looks it. But this was actually from China, I think. The motor was.
Yeah.
But this is real. The battery box is real. And it's just so expensive.
You've probably got 50% of people that will say, motor if you want it to work. 40% will say, yeah, I want the motor, but I don't know how to make my own motor, so I'll buy the Lego one. And the other 10% are probably hacking bits of Lego apart right now and ordering stuff off Banggood and AliExpress and waiting for it to come. And they're cleaning up their solder iron ready. So it's just a lot of it. It's just knowing that you can and then knowing how to. There's a lot of people agree or disagree with me here. Yes, your cheek looks lovely. I see you playing there. Agree or disagree with me. I think soldering is more confidence than anything, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And a bit of experience. There's some skill involved, but not as much skill as people would think.
I mean, I've started a new series on soldering, and I'm addicted to watching, as well as obviously everyone on here I support. But I watch other YouTube videos, and a lot of them. One of them's, I don't know if you've heard of him, my mate Vince.
Yes.
And he does a lot of trying to fix videos, and I absolutely love him. And you know, he's like me, he doesn't know anything about anything. He'll just crack in and have a go.
Yeah.
And not only him, like there's some other ones I watch, like iPad Rehab, and they actually try and fix and recover data for people with iPhones. Because if you've got a broken iPhone, if you take it to Apple, they'll say, sorry, you'll have to buy a new phone. You can't get your data back. But she knows you can get your data back, and she will make sure she gets that data back. And what she does is fantastic. And she does a lot of micro soldering, and I watch thousands of videos, and I'm like, I really want to have a go at this.
Yeah.
And so I decided to try one, and actually, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
If you've got the right equipment, It's like painting. If you've got a cheap brush, you're going to get awful quality and probably a rubbish paint job. If you spend the money on a decent brush, it's completely. And I think it's the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
So I've used some flux, and it's amazing. I mean, I did that video. I was trying to solder a microchip on, and you just have to tickle it, and the solder just goes where it needs to go because of the flux.
Because the flux is doing the work, not solder iron.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you made a bit of a hash up the first attempt, didn't you? And you just
I did. Yeah, I tried to heat it up to do the hot air method and surface tension, but I forgot the screen was behind it and melted it.
Yeah. You made a mistake. You learned from it. You carried on.
Yeah.
It's absolutely spot on. So.
And it wasn't overly expensive kit, so I got another one, and then I was more careful. And as it happened, I did do a bit of hot air. I managed to do a bit of hot air on it by directing the air away from the screen.
Yes.
And I was watching the video back, actually. Those of you might have watched it, and I said, "Oh, did you see that chip jump?" And when I watch it back, you can't actually see it move at all. But to watch it, I saw it jump into place, and it was just really exciting. It was like a breakthrough for me. I was like, "Yes!" So
all those times when something silly has happened, and I've got all excited, and you've just gone, "Yeah, okay, yeah, you've done it." Now you know how I was feeling that time.
Yeah.
See that? And sometimes I get quite excited over silly things. Like I remember putting some of those screws in the bus, and I'm like, "Wow, they're just going in so nicely." It's just,
yeah. Well, I've had moments like that on the bus.
Yeah.
Apart from last week, I enjoyed it and got on with it, but I had to do a lot of filing on that last panel.
Yes. Yeah, that was fun to watch. When you threaten to get the Dremel out and everyone's like, "No."
Well, I was going to have a go, and no, as soon as I turned that on, it bounced off the side. I was like, no, not a good idea.
That's fair enough. You give it a go, and then you figured out, no, that's not going to work, or I'm not happy with that. But yeah, you definitely failed your audition for the Philharmonic, didn't you?
Yeah.
I was actually going to say, don't apply for a Caribbean steel drum band, but I couldn't spell Caribbean, so I just went for Philharmonic, which probably isn't much easier to spell than Caribbean, but so yeah. Right. So is there anything you want to talk about?
Well, I can talk about. Sorry, I'm just replying. Dave Saves just saying that his comments aren't coming up.
Is it not?
But he may have internet problems.
Right, well, I can't see them coming up on YouTube either. I've read out all the comments that I can see on YouTube.
Yeah, I can't see any either.
Teething problems, or we're doing something wrong, I don't know.
We've had another comment as well saying that you can't see it, all we can do is hear it. But it's coming through fine here.
Right. I can see on YouTube the quality doesn't look amazing, but it looks like it's you look quite clear, I look a bit fuzzy. Do you remember when I had that stream doing the USS Hopman? I had P40 F20 on with me, and he was looking fine, but I was looking a bit pixel. I think that's what's happening to me now. Although I've just spotted something that I do like. And
that's just the bandwidth, your internet bandwidth. That's all that is.
Yeah, when you talk, your square goes orange border.
Yes, I noticed that, and to be honest, it's something I don't like. It's giving me a headache. It's not a headache, but it takes your eye off things.
Well, I have a tendency to look at the person who's talking. But yeah, no, I've just come in a bit clearer now.
Oh yeah, you have.
Yeah, that's interesting. So maybe we need to start the stream an hour before, so that it gives a chance to come in and. But I don't know what nothing's coming in with Dave Say, because that's rather disappointing, isn't it?
No, I'm sure he'll sort it. Maybe a reboot if you can hear.
Yeah, someone's telling me that they can't watch it and all I can do is just listen to it. Is that the same message you got?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I can see it.
I can see it fine on YouTube, my end.
Right.
But this is on you, so thanks for the feedback. Obviously, I mean, to me right now, looking on my other monitor, it's coming through absolutely fine. My end.
Well, I can see his comment, Chris Sage, just come through. Dave's comment keeps disappearing for some reason. No, I was having struggles, but I put that down to my computer. I had one attempt. I couldn't bring up screen share, and but I think that because I seem to get internet problems on a Wednesday. I have no idea why, but that's the way it is. So I put it down to that. Now, could it be this software? So I'm checking. I don't like to check my phone while I'm on stream, but obviously people send me messages about the stream, and it's obvious when I pick up my phone. Mind you, I'm not like this, am I? So
I don't know why Dave's comment keeps disappearing.
No, but then this is why we're doing experimental streams. If this whole stream bombs out, well, at least we've given it a go, and we've looked at ways of improving things. Something that I was looking for, which won't help the other members of our group, was I was looking at doing it on OBS and then setting up a chat with Skype or something, and having that come into OBS and then broadcast from OBS straight to stream. But that only really works if you've got like one or two guests and then you're streaming onto a single platform. If you're streaming to like 4 different places, OBS really isn't the way to go. So yeah, I'll be honest with you, Horlicks, I'm not too keen on this melon at the moment. It doesn't seem to be doing the job well, but I'm quite keen to see how you get on. Is it just that the problem is, P40 F20 saying the flickering is annoying. I mean, look, I'll show you. This is my screen, but this is what I'm looking at, and that looks. Oh, hang on. Yeah, no, that's fine to me. A little bit slow, if anything.
Yeah.
Sorry. So just testing the thing. I don't know. So, the general consensus seems to be that the quality doesn't seem to be so good, but that's not conclusive because it could just be my internet and it could be my computer. So I'm really keen on watching. Right. Okay. It says the flickering is around whoever is talking. Is that the orange box? You see, I'm talking at the moment, and I'm affected by orange. Let's try this view. So I'm getting a message saying unstable internet, which obviously isn't helping. But does this improve things? Now I look really, really pixelated again.
Yeah.
I just sit really still and wait for it to catch up. No, it's not doing it, is it? I don't know. See, on my monitor it looks perfect, but on the computer, on YouTube it looks. Yeah, I don't know. It's yeah. There's at the moment, Horlicks, you're really clear. Yeah, that suggests to me it's you. P40F20 saying the flickering is gone. So I think it's safe to assume that this view is off the cards because it's causing too much flickering. This one, fine. This one,
It's okay, the flickering, but I think you can turn it off in the settings.
okay.
But whether that's a pro feature, I don't know.
Oh, yes. I've just turned it off. Right.
So yeah, no, it stopped.
Yeah.
But then that was something that you liked. So that was for your stream. If that's what you like, then
I like the highlight in the speaker, but what I don't like is 6 or 7 people watching it going, "Oh, I don't like the flickering." So you know, if my audience aren't going to enjoy the stream because of something I like that I can live without, then I'll change it. But
yeah,
but look, I'm now looking clear. On my YouTube, it looks fine. When
you're coming through clear.
When I change to this view, I go quite pixelated. I look like a really cheap, well, it is a cheap camera, but it looks like one of those cheap, nasty cameras. Let me do a...
You're coming through nice and clear. Oh, no, it's just...
But I'm really not liking the... No, I've just knocked my camera out. I've just tried to change my camera, and it's not having it. So we'll have to do this one instead. So this is quite a nice... I'm trying to find, like, not my ashtray. Yeah, that's okay. And this is a better camera than the one I had just now. So I don't know. I'm really inclined to say there's an issue with the computer, but I don't know why I just put stream cam on. Could it be I'm trying too high a resolution? Let's try that. I've just knocked the resolution down a bit. I don't know why I put 1080p on when the stream on this level isn't supporting it, but I've gone all pixelated again.
Yeah.
But yeah, Geordie Davis says my picture has improved. So yeah, taking that option off, the general feedback seems to be it's improved. So I don't know, right? So yeah, I don't know. General consensus is fine.
Right, I'll be there.
It's probably you on big.
Right, okay. So what I've decided to do is, obviously, we're talking about the mod for the side light.
Yes.
So what I've done is I've just managed to find the. I can't. Yeah, I've just managed to find the instructions.
Yeah.
So what's going on? It won't let me. Can you see a screen share?
Yes. No. Oh, I just done a screen share for Horlicks. That's just knocked Horlicks right off the stream. Where did you go, Horlicks? Let me just send him a message. Oh, this is. Oh, he's back. He's back.
I think you shared the screen and it booted me off, and it went, "Oh, sorry, there's been an issue."
It's again, you know, I don't know if this is my computer causing the problems or if it's early days on the stream. But you know, it's a good job we didn't chuck money at this and go, "Oh, that looks really, really good," and we spent a lot of money on it, and it just turns out to be unusable.
Yeah.
So
this is the sidelight mod, and obviously we had the ideas of it, and Fleetwood J spent some time doing the instructions for it. So I thought I might as well show these off and talk about it.
Oh, there's a couple of words you like there. 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth item down.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm not going to really go into too much about all this, but yeah, you need a soldering iron, an LED bulb. Now, Fleetwood J purchased one on eBay. Now, I actually genuinely had a problem with the headlights and something. I think they sent me the wrong headlight or something, so I ended up with another issue, which was ideal because I could then use one of the LEDs that came with that.
Just remind me,
So
it's the side light mod, isn't it?
yeah. So it's better to if you can buy another issue that the headlights are in. That's even better because you know it's going to be the right shade of white. I know Fleetwood had a problem with buying one and it was brilliant white.
Yeah.
Or was it cool white? And of course, it looked completely different to the headlights, and he had to.
It's because of funnily enough, because of the Route Master that I learned the difference between warm white and cool white.
Yeah.
Up until that point, I thought there was white or old white and new white. You got like the Route Master is warm white, which is what I would have considered an old white, because the headlights were sort of that little bit orangey, weren't they? A little bit yellowy.
Yeah.
New headlights are white, which is what they call cool white. So I think.
And I think, I think he fixed his by. Did he use some paint? Didn't he? Some of that clear.
My side light mod with a warm white bulb, and I think I got the right colour.
Right. So yeah, obviously, that's obviously your preference. But I happened to have a spare issue, so I was like, brilliant! I can cut one of the LEDs off, and I know they'll be the same. So yeah, you need an LED, some cable, electrical tape, an emery file or a file, and heat shrink is always good. But if you haven't got heat shrink, electrical tape would be fine.
Yeah. But obviously be careful where you put that, because if you haven't got a lot of space and you start wrapping it in 3 or 4 wraps of electrical tape, it's not going to fit.
Yeah. So what you need to do is you need to take the LED and you need to make it as thin as possible. So as you can see here, you can see where the cathodes or the cathode or the diode, whatever that is in there. You have to file the top of the LED right the way down, just level with that, because it's got to fit in a very tight gap.
I seem to remember mine, I filed it almost until that was exposed.
Yes, that's what I did.
Yeah.
So, you have to file the LED down, or you could actually, looking back now, I could have used like the LED I've done for my my indicator mods. They're so small.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have had to have done anything with that. But yeah, you can file an LED down or get a smaller one. And then once it's done, you solder some wires to it if it hasn't already got some. You don't need a resistor, because the resistor's on the circuit board. But you will need a resistor if you're planning on testing the LED before it goes into the model. So then solder the LED onto the wires. If you're not comfortable with soldering or anything, you can buy LEDs. If you get a spare issue from Hachette or you buy them, you can actually buy them already with the cables on there. You've got to test fit the bulb, the LED into the hole where it's going to go, and tape it into place when you're ready. So the reason you have to file it down is because that's going to. I think you have as well. I've still got a very small bow, very small,
Yeah.
where it pushes the out. Yeah,
Yeah, it will actually stick out too far. You want it fairly level, don't you? And it pushes the back plate backwards.
yeah,
And rubbing the end of the LED off, it doesn't push it so far. That's why
yeah,
you need to get as close as you dare to the metal contact.
yeah. So then you take that into place, however you see fit. And then what you have to do is the part that you screw to the other side of it, you've got this, what is it, a recess or like I don't know. You've got like this plastic that sticks out, and you need to file that down. Otherwise, it's going to get in the way of the wiring for your LED. And the purpose of that is to sort of hold the lens into place. But with the LED in place, that's now doing that job for you.
Yeah.
So you need to remove the flange around the hole. Okay, and it will look a bit of a mess. Mine look the same.
Yeah.
And mine looks
A little
just
bit
like that.
going on, but it's all on the inside.
Yes, yeah. So that's what you need to do. And then at that point, you can cover it with electrical tape. One, to protect the LED, make sure it doesn't come out of the hole, and two, it stops any light bleeds. Otherwise, it'll inside the model it lights up quite brightly, so you want to block all the light coming through. So make sure you use electrical tape if nothing else. And then, attach the panels as per the magazine.
Yep.
And then you might notice there's a slight distortion to the panel as it's a very tight fit. But you couldn't really tell. There's not really much of a picture there. But and then you just run the wire out the bottom here where Fleetwood has, and that's exactly what I did as well.
Yeah.
So that'll probably make sense if you've got those parts to hand, and you're planning on doing that. This is where you connect it. Oh God, that was a bit excited, wasn't it? This is where you need to locate your wiring. So you want to connect it to the cable C, because cable C is what controls the headlights, and you want them to come on with the headlights.
Yeah.
So then you have to splice that C cable like so, and then just attach. That's the mod wire, I think.
Yeah.
And then this is the wire that you will get. So it's the red and green. Make sure it says C, and then splice it and join those two together so it goes into that plug. And that's pretty much all you really need to do. And then the rest of it, you just carry on as normal, because then it'll tell you later on in the build when to plug that cable in, the C cable, and you've already done what you've done. And then you end up with a light that works. And it was one of the things I was definitely going to do, because after seeing the model for the first time, and I was a bit disappointed knowing that there wouldn't be a light in there, because it looks like a light, but when it doesn't work, it just looks like a poor maintained bus, and they haven't been bothered to change the light bulb.
Isn't it? When you've got all of your lights except one doesn't work, it really does stick out.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's probably not supposed to be on because it's a fog light, isn't it? I believe.
Yeah.
But it's still a light, and you can just see it there, and you just want it to light up. So
I think it looks broken rather than a non-feature.
Yeah. So definitely one of the best. I'm really glad I did that.
Yeah.
Because I nearly wasn't going to do that. And then that's what you end up with. As you can see, his was rather bright in comparison. But I think actually, maybe he didn't paint it. Did he go around and change all of his LEDs?
I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe we need Fleetwood on our stream one day.
Yeah, I vaguely remember him changing all of them in the end. I think he thought, oh, they're different. I'm just going to change them all to cool white, and I think he spliced all of them off and redid them. But I don't know. We'll have to confirm. But yeah, and that's all you do really. The problem is, and as he says there in his statement, that was his method of doing it. Doing it, obviously, do it the way you feel comfortable to do it, and it's your model at the end of the day. But that's roughly what he did. And to be honest, I wouldn't have done it much better. So I just followed that as well, and it worked perfectly. So yeah, that's it really. But I'm certainly glad I did it. But I would imagine if depending on how far you've got with your model, if you've got to the issue, up in the hundreds now, where you're doing the top deck or the side panels, or you've put the frames on, I think it'll be too late to do that now, because you would have to undo so much to get back to that, to do that.
Yeah.
That's the only downside. So it was something that would have had to have really been done as and when we had those issues.
Yeah.
Because taking off undoing everything to that point would be a nightmare.
Yeah.
And the problem is, we've had some problems with screws, haven't we? And I certainly have. And I think if you start undoing all of the screws to get back to that, I think it's just asking for a bad time.
Yeah. Going to have a bad time.
We're going to have a bad time. But, if you are around that stage, or you're just starting your build, then it's a good idea to do that now.
Well, David Bassett is thankful for your run through there, but he did say it was a side light Horlicks, not a fog lamp.
Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. Well, of course, the fog light's at the bottom, isn't it? And that is lit. So it just seems a bit wrong not having it lit, in my opinion.
Mike Tedstone's, he's also said 1080p. So when we say 1080p and 760, is the other one 720?
I think
is it quality?
My camera these new stream cams are capable of 4K, I think.
Yeah.
And which is something that really excited me, because there's nothing worse than not being able to see what you're working on, and especially with the Spitfire and all the detail it's got.
Yeah.
I would really like to show that off, and the only way to do that is by having a good quality camera, which I have now. But the problem, the bottleneck, is this stream software. So at the moment, I think we're only in 7. Like you say, we're recording in full HD, but it's broadcasting this in a lower quality.
Because it's only the free version, obviously it's cut back a little bit, so it's only broadcasting in 720. The way I would describe it, I'm a little bit more simple with technology like that. It's like comparing a normal TV with an HD TV. You can manage on 720, that's fine, but once you've got yourself an HD TV, you don't really want to go back to a normal TV anymore, do you?
No.
Just that.
And that's one of the things with Stream. That's why I wanted to try this out, because with StreamYard, that doesn't seem to be supporting 1080 for some reason. So that's why that's why I wanted to come over and try something else that might work in that sort of.
StreamYard does support 1080, but it's the next level up. StreamYard has 2 price plans, well 3 if you include the free one, but this one only has 2, and 1080p on StreamYard is the top level, and it starts to get a bit expensive. There's loads of other small technical things that we could go on about, which probably don't mean an awful lot from a viewer's point of view. But for me, one of the things is the comments. It's quite to bring the comments up. When a viewer takes the time trouble to participate in your stream, the very least you can do is give them some recognition. So that's quite important to me. One other thing, I tried this before the stream and it didn't work. It obviously works because it's streaming, but I've got a button that I can do text. I don't know if you just saw come up where I put don't forget to share, like and subscribe. That's the button. Look, I'll see if I can get this in view. So when I press this button, give it a moment, there you go, a little bit of text comes up. How cool is that? Just one of those little things. One other thing that I noticed is you watch the monitor and watch the YouTube. When we do the screen share, you notice how the screen completely disappears and then it brings it back up.
Yeah.
And then when I press stop, you lose everything. And then it brings us back in. It's a little bit slow on the transition, isn't it? So, right, I'm going to ask you all a question, which I think I know the answer to already, but I'm going to ask you. The viewer, do you think, as you've seen it today, says is much worse than street, what we normally use, about the same, or is it better? The answer's going to be, but I want to just see it written down there from the viewer. Or maybe you just think it needs some more work, maybe you think we're not used to it yet, and we need a bit more practice. Are you still going ahead using this software tomorrow?
Yeah, I think I will do. And I might even go to the extreme of paying, because you can do it monthly and you can cancel any time. So I might go to the extreme of paying for at least one payment to see, and then just see what the extra benefits are, and see what the quality's like as well. Yeah. And then see, I mean, ultimately, I guess, we could have Pro, but ultimately it'd be down to our internet.
Well, you might lose me in a minute because on YouTube I'm buffering. You go, Penny's frozen. So I don't know if you can hear me or.
I can hear you okay.
Can you see me?
No.
It looks like it's freezing up because I've lost the menu bar at the bottom. There you go, it's back. So it looks like. Right, guys, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to end the stream. I think we're going to lose it. I don't know what's going to happen if we lose it. Is that all right with you, Horlicks?
Yeah, that's fine.
It's a bit of an old one, not the best stream I've ever done. But if we don't try and, you try and move forwards. Sometimes you end up going backwards. That's okay. You just try from path. So yeah, guys, I'm going to disappear then before, because if I end up coming out while we're broadcast, I have no idea what's going to happen. At least I know what happens in StreamYard. So thank you much. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being with us. And I'll end the show by our Horlicks to say goodbye.
Yeah, so thank you. Thank you for watching. Sorry for the delay at the beginning, but this is obviously new to us. And I think we'll see how it goes. And the good thing as well is that you've just come back. Live chat, this company have got a live chat on their main website. And so you can click on that, you can chat to them straight away and say, this is an idea, this is an idea. So again, it's things that we can, maybe tailor or ask them to think about. But anyway, thank you, for watching. And what about the YouTube schedule?
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah, I got about that. I didn't do that on purpose.
So do you want me to do that?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
Okay, so
on my computer.
That's fine. So tomorrow, unfortunately, you've got me to look at again. No, I'm doing Route Master 128 to 130. So this is my very last Route Master show. It's going to be a bit of a longer stream, so we're going to start at 7:30, and that is because I'm going to be finishing up or trying to finish up the indicator mod on stream. So, the worst that can happen is it's going to take longer than I think, and I'll just do one side, and then I'll have to do an update on the second side. But we'll see how it goes. Friday, it's me again with Spitfire, and I'm doing issues 21 upwards. We'll see how we go. Again, I'm in love with the Spitfire build. So glad I've done it, and I could just sit and do it all night. It's so relaxing. And then Monday, that's it for the weekend. I'm not streaming on the weekend. And then the next show is on Monday, and that's Chris Campling and Chris Davies, 8 o'clock on their channels. They're dual streaming. They're doing Terminator 93 to 94. And then Tuesday, we've got Build with Adrian. He's doing Terminator 95 and 96. And that's at 7:30. Wednesday, comes back to Wednesday, we've got Yorkshire Crafter and Penny's Pit Stop. And they'll be doing the Diamond Show, number 27. And that's at 2 p.m. UK time. And then that brings us back to Wednesday evening when Penny will, to be confirmed. It's actually got here different issue numbers, but because we didn't do them tonight, so that'll be to be confirmed. But there'll be a show next Wednesday evening, right where you are now. So that is the schedule.
Fantastic. I'm trying to hide up because obviously if me broadcasting is causing a problem, then obviously it's less running. P40 says, don't forget Eagle Squadron. We have ops on Friday. I am
Yes,
jealous of you guys doing the Spitfire on live stream because that's like the best show ever. So, right, okay, so I'm going to say goodbye, and I will catch you next week. Thank you for doing that YouTube schedule so well. And unless Horlicks got anything else to say, I'll say goodbye.
No, I think that's it. So, Horlicks signing out.
Okay, guys, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
This time, stop.
We're still there, I think.
I hit the end broadcast button, it's just not doing it.
It's like that time when you left me on the stream and I couldn't end the stream.
This is going to look good on takes, isn't it?